So I have Lynn LaPlante here running for county board. So what specifically motivated you to run for DuPage County?
Well, I had two choices. I could sit around and complain all day, and because I was seeing some things that I didn't like happening in our country and in our community, or I could take action. So there was no way I could just sit and watch what was happening unfold. So I decided to take action and run for office. I took the advice of President Obama in his farewell address. He said, lace up your shoes, grab a clipboard, knock on doors, get signatures, run for office. So I took those as my marching orders and I ran. So that was the first time I ran was in 2018 and it came out of nowhere. I don't have a political background and I almost won that race. Came closer than anyone else in DuPage County history to winning that race. And it caught the attention of people from throughout the state. And then I joined a training program, the Illinois Women's Institute of Leadership. And they helped me and trained me to run my next race, which was in 2020, and I got elected to the DuPage County Board. And so now I'm running for re-election. I love this job. I love being on the board, and I love the work that we're doing. It's very, very satisfying. So I'm running for re-election and for my same seat, and I love it. And I'm hoping to get reelected because I started a whole bunch of new initiatives, and the only way to keep them going is to win and keep working.
Right. So about those initiatives,
Sure.
what are one or two goals you hope to achieve when elected?
So a couple of things that I wanted to do. My background is in the arts. I'm a musician, so I wanted to make sure that we were focusing on the arts in DuPage County because we are an extremely well-resourced county with almost $500 million in our annual operating budget. And there hasn't been one line item, not one penny set aside for the arts in DuPage County. So I set about to change that. So I formed a new committee, Fine Arts Committee, and we are funding and supporting arts initiatives in the county and also looking into building a brand new world-class performing arts center, something like modeled after Ravinia or Millennium Park, and bringing it here to DuPage, because I think we really deserve that, a county of almost 1 million people, and as I said, very well resourced, and so that's one. The other is I'm really interested in health equity and making sure that the least among us in DuPage County have access to, health care, health needs, and like everything that showed up that we learned about in the pandemic, right? Equitable access to the vaccinations. And so I was just appointed to the Board of Health, and I'm working on setting up the very first insulin bank in DuPage County to help anyone who is I have a son who has type 1 diabetes, access to insulin and all the medical supplies that you may need. Thank you.
All right, that sounds great. You mentioned earlier that you were inspired by President Obama and his speech. Would you say that your politics are kind of similar?
I would. I actually even go further back than President Obama, and one of my heroes is President Jimmy Carter. So he's a real, true public servant. And so I've been to Plains, Georgia 3 times to meet him, and I've played my violin at his church 3 times. And I am blown away by what he and his wife, Rosalind, have been able to do and the impact they've had, not just in their little town, their state, the country, but worldwide.
Right.
And so I would say that my politics align there in the sense that you're supposed to just start wherever you are, give back to your community, help the least among us, and do good work. And so I model myself after him. Yeah. Because if a peanut farmer can do it, a violinist can do it.
Right. Okay, so a more specific question. A quarter of students at Wheaton South High School are considered low income. This is only going to get worse with the inflation crisis. So do you have any specific plans to help with those low-income families in the county?
Yeah, we've already been doing that. So I think you should all know that DuPage County is staffed by really wonderful people who have vast institutional knowledge of the needs of the people who live here. And their hearts are in the right place. And I served as chair of community development. That's what I call my Jimmy Carter work. It's about making sure that people have enough to eat, a place to sleep. So one of the things that we did was we passed, on that committee was the first vote for the first permanent homeless shelter in DuPage County. So we allotted $5 million in conjunction with DuPage Pads. That's being built in in Downers Grove. It's a renovated hotel. Why that's important for you guys, for students, is I sat in these meetings with all these superintendents, and their first concern was students who are experiencing homelessness, that they get to stay in their school. So we provide transportation. They have a place where they can safely do their homework. They don't fall behind in school. So that's already a huge focus. Another is we just passed another initiative for $5 million to help with food shortages in DuPage County, because the food banks in DuPage, from the pandemic and everything that's been happening, all the fallout, there's been a huge uptick in need for food pantries, and they weren't able to meet the need of how many people needed those services. So we just passed a huge grant for that, and used ARPA funds, federal funds, relief funds for that. So we do very much take care of the people of DuPage County.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the voters in the county?
It's an honor to serve on this board. I take it very seriously. I work very hard. Since I've been elected, I've also been appointed to 4 additional boards: the Board of Health, the Illinois Arts Alliance Arts Leadership Committee, Wheaton Arts Business and Culture, and Arts DuPage. So I am working very hard. This is technically a part-time job, but I work full-time hours on this. I put my heart into it, my passion, my dedication, and I'm proud, so proud of what I've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. I have a long list of very tangible goals that I have already reached, and I know that I'm just going to keep going. I don't think you'll ever find anyone who works harder than me. I kept my campaign promises. One of the big ones was I wanted to make it less partisan at the local level, because I don't like what's happening in our country at the national and federal level. So I've been working across the aisle, and quite frankly, that's been easy. If you're there with good intentions and your whole purpose is to serve the people of DuPage County, I will work with you. I don't care what letters after your name. I am here to get it done. So it's been terrific. I want to return, if you guys are voters. Lynn LaPlante, DuPage County Board, District 4.
All right, that's great.
Thanks, guys.